Hello, everyone. We're back. Yay, yay. Thank you for tuning in again or tuning in for the first time. And thank you for all the people in the Gather Gallery and or on YouTube watching us. Yay. I'm proud to present a magician that is my favorite magician, actually. Annanya, welcome to the show. I know you've got lots of stuff to show us, and I'm super excited.
Yes. So a part of my work is actually teaching people about what they are watching, because the history of magic is so vast and diverse that people often, like, you forget how long ago this actually began. So to cut it short, hello, good afternoon. My name is Annanya George, and I'm a professional magician from India. I often like to say that when a painter paints a painting, you can see their brushstrokes. But with magic, Winston, but with magic, this is impossible. So, hold on a second. Come on, buddy.
We love animals. Winston he wants to be on the show.
Live show, ladies and gentlemen. But with magic, seeing the brushstrokes in the painting is impossible, because if you see the brushstrokes, then, well, it's not very magical. So I take it upon myself to teach audiences what they're witnessing, because Lord knows other magicians wouldn't. Today, I'll be walking you through the history of card magic, from its mysterious origins to what it encompasses in the modern era. For the longest time, we thought that card magic originated with the modern printing press in the 1800s. It made logical sense. Cards were looked at as a status symbol, and now everyone had the ability to have a deck of cards at home. This, however, is a fallacy. Card magic probably existed around the 13th century, but there's no way to prove it. What you need to know about the art of magic is that traditionally it has a mentor-mentee structure. So one would seek out a teacher, and then they'd learn from them directly. Because of this, a lot of origins of magic has been lost to time and history. So we're forced to look into published material and other journals. So even though we know that playing cards existed as early as the 12th century in China, we can't really say for sure when card magic was first performed for the world. The earliest account of card magic we know of is in 1584 in a book called The Discovery of Witchcraft. This was the first published account of the secrets in magic. In this book, a 4-ace trick is described where someone turns the 4 aces into the 4 knaves, or now we call them the jacks. This is the modern version of that exact trick. I'm going to pull out the 4 aces first. 2, 3, and 4. And the thing with this is, these tricks were originally done without the help of any special apparatus or anything like that. This was just pure sleight of hand, and this still to this day remains pure sleight of hand. Of course, today you could do other stuff, but I'll get to that later. Watch. And that's the modern version of the 4-ace trick. Boom. Perfect. So this was originally published in 1584. Now you might notice that I said the word witchcraft. And if you're a history buff, you'd know that around 100 years later, the witch trials in Salem occurred. The myth is that magicians alongside nonconformists were burned at the stake. However, that is just a myth. In their latest book, The Secret History of Magic, Peter Lamont, a magic historian, Peter Lamont, and Jim Steinmeier in 2018 discovered that magicians at the time were just entertainment. People understood that magic is a form of entertainment and not something crazier. However, we still were adamant to find evidence of street performers like magicians or jugglers to be convicted of witchcraft. And what we found was that we just found evidence of two people. We found a juggler and a girl who tore and restored a handkerchief, but they were imprisoned. They weren't really burnt at the stake for witchcraft. My guess is that they were probably lesser known performers, and so people were just like, "Oh, you're a lesser known performer." Show business, am I right? One of the most prominent magicians of this era was Hieronymus Scotus. He was mentioned in King James of England's book for his proficiency and skill with a deck of playing cards. The book was titled Demonology. That's Hieronymus Scotus on the left and the book on the right. So how did card magic go from changing the 4 aces to the 4 knaves to a pick a card trick or even grander illusions like Penn and Teller's underwater card trick? That's Penn and Teller, and that's their underwater card trick. The magicians that we have to thank for all of this are far and few in number. See, magicians didn't really pull out the big tricks unless they were on bigger stages. At the time, magicians were confined to streets and carnivals, and it wasn't until the late 1800s that they moved into theaters. One such magician, Giuseppe Pinetti, on the left, would perform for European royalty and would do, to my knowledge, the world's first pick-a-card trick. He'd ask someone to pick a card, he'd toss the deck in the air, and then nail their selected card onto a wall using a pistol shot. Isaac Fox, the world's first clickbaiter, says that he could throw a deck of cards in the air and it would turn into live doves. Here's why I think he's the world's first clickbaiter, though. We don't really know what his shows would look like because he would do these in tents in carnivals, and the carnivals would move around a lot. So nobody really wrote about what they saw in Fox's shows. The only thing we have to go off of are the pamphlets that he sent to houses and would put in like mailboxes around town to advertise his show. And these pamphlets would say things like the wonderful wonders that ever the world wondered at. So I don't know, but great ideas though. As a result, between 1528 and the early 1800s, magicians developed tons and tons of magical effects with cards. Some of these methods and techniques are still used by magicians today. But if you know anything about magic, you know that these techniques are nothing if not coupled with great performances. Enter the minimalist performance techniques of the 18th century. Magicians like Hofzinser on the left and Robert Houdin on the right brought magic into parlors and theaters. Most people give Robert Houdin credit for doing so, but that information we only know from his memoirs, and Robert Houdin likes to kind of talk about himself as the pariah of magic. Anyway, at this point in time, the days of magical gestures and funky costumes were no more. This was the time when magicians stopped dressing up lavishly and started dressing in like suits and ties and tails and so on. This was a time of simplicity and nuance. That is when a new form of card magic took the world by surprise. It all began with this. Are you ready? That's the back palm. The origins of this move are very mysterious. Several people proclaim to have invented it. The earliest account of this is of M. Harmington and Monsieur Emile Isola. That's what I mean by M. It was in the late 1800s in France. And at about the same time, a Mexican gambler by the name of Morialo Berndscortelli taught this move to a magician named Otto Maurer in America, who in turn taught it to countless other magicians. Again, just that. But here's a bit of magic drama. A magician named Doc Elliott says that he was the one who taught Cortelli the move to begin with. And Elliott's move looked like what I just did. The back palm, showing you the back of the hand, then showing you the front of the hand, and then producing the card. However, the editor of Sphinx magazine, which is a magazine for magicians, Dr. A.M. Wilson, said that he was at Maurer's house when the Mexican gambler, who gave no name, taught Maurer the move. And the move that he taught Maurer was just this. No reverse. So in reality, we don't even know where this move comes from. And that's when a magician named Howard Thurston created a routine using these card moves. And thus the art of card manipulation was born. Let me explain. So after Maurer taught the move to other magicians and Doc Elliott did his whole thing, magicians decided to do it with multiple cards. So now they had 5 cards in their hand. So they would produce one, then show the back of the hand, front of the hand, produce another one, and keep doing this. What Thurston did was something revolutionary, because he took all these methods of card production and he linked them all together. So what you might see would be something along the lines of, and then he'd probably show both of his hands empty and then produce way more cards. And then do the back and produce one and then the other. I spent the entire month of January just practicing this stuff. And as you can see, 1 month is clearly not enough to actually master this stuff. You have to do this for years and years if you want to do it consistently. Now, there we are. Now, a magician by the name of Di Vernon came into the scene. In the early 1900s, this guy added more stuff to the art of card magic. But this stuff was not added in the form of card magic, but and it was not even related to it. This new body of work actually came from underground gambling dens. So a mysterious author, S.W. Erdnase, wrote a book called An Expert at the Card Table, which outlined card moves done during card games, which were developed to cheat people out of their money. So they were built. The reason they existed was so that they were invisible. Vernon held this book as his Bible and started perfecting every move in the book. And this is what modern card magic is. Magicians like Michael Vincent on the left, Richard Turner in the middle, and Derek Delgadio on the right. Derek Delgadio actually has a Hulu special called In and of Itself, if you want to see this stuff in action. These guys are making a living off of card magic from this specific school of thought that Di Vernon brought into the world of magic. Now, what seems to be the future of card magic? What's going on at the moment? Who's inventing stuff at the moment? I think it speaks more to human creativity than anything else, because over the last 500 or 600 years, countless magicians have invented new and interesting ways to perform magic with 52 pieces of paper. And they are still inventing. Donny de Ortiz on the left is adding psychological sleights with a deck of playing cards. Shin Lim on the right uses mechanical pieces to kind of exemplify certain aspects of his act. Who knows what card magic could become in the future as technology evolves? One thing is certain. While humans exist, so will magic, because somewhere out there, there's always that word, like myself, who will think of these pieces of paper as more than just a game. These pieces of paper represent years of magic, ingenuity, and mastery. And no matter what, these pieces of paper will always stand to make you believe that something impossible is afoot. Hold on. Breaks deck. Ta-da! That's the end.
That was great. The deck has been broken, everyone. I'm sorry, no more card tricks. That was awesome. We also, I don't know if you realized, but we enjoyed Winston popping in there, magic dog.
He's a super magical dog.
He's a super magical dog. And I know you have a YouTube channel. What can we see on this channel?
So I make movies as well, but I used to make a lot of movies about certain aspects of my life. So I would make like these short little documentaries, these personal documentaries. That's what it's up right now. But from now onwards, you're going to see like a journey into the magic world a month at a time.
Oh.
So like eventually I'm going to be performing at the World Championships of Magic. And so like there'll be a movie about how I ended up getting there and what I ended up doing there and so on.
That's totally cool. And are you sticking with the Fun a Day platform of making a movie once a month?
Oh, pretty much, yeah. I mean, I used to do a movie a week.
Oh, wow.
That was just insane. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to stick with the movie a month for a while now.
Nice. Oh, people are enjoying. They learned a lot. So, yeah.
Glad.
I know I learned a lot. I wish my deck of cards was within reach. I was ready to show you that I cannot do any of these tricks.
Oh my god, I spent so much time trying to teach you guys.
Well, maybe I could do one. I can do one with one card, maybe two. So that's progress, right?
A lot of progress.
I'm not up to 4 or 5 cards yet. Not at all.
I can barely do 8, so that's okay.
And my top hat is only like this big, so I don't think the cards. Is that a requirement of a magician to have a top hat?
Not necessarily, but sure. I want to believe that it is.
I think it is.
Oh, perfect.
I think it should be. It totally is.
The fun thing, actually, the rabbit out of a hat image that you see everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a fun fact. That first came by in around early 1900s as well, but it wasn't a magic trick someone did. It was a magician who was super interested in film. So what he did was he set up a camera and he filmed his hat being empty, and then there was a cut. He put a rabbit in there and then just pulled it out.
Oh my gosh.
And that image is now forever immortalized, which I think is just brilliant.
Could you fit Winston in your hat?
I've tried, but no, the hat fits on him rather than him.
Maybe that's the trick. Get him to balance the hat, or get Winston to fit you into the hat.
I don't think.
And then
that's
have
possible.
you disappear? Can you? You know?
Most I could do is probably vanish my hand in it, but.
Oh, that's something. Oh, Barb came in to let us know there's a lot of people in the virtual gallery who are going, ooh, and aw. Yay.
That's my aim.
That's the aim. Well, Annanya, thank you so much for being on. This has been super fun, and thank you for being part of the art show.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you can be parts of Fun a Day, even in a distance in the future. Or maybe have your own magic Fun a Day. Oh. Who knows?
You have too much confidence in me.
You're my favorite magician. That's why I believe you can do anything.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And thanks everyone who's watching in the virtual gallery and all those watching on YouTube. And you could catch this again later. Show your friends. Try to learn those tricks or learn the history. It was lots of fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. Goodbye.